وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Today, I'd like to change the topic for a very important reminder. The particular topic, general, is to be about Salah and the conjugation of prayer. But I feel there's some current events that are happening, so it's very important to talk about these particular current events in this country that's related to all Muslims. Now, as a Muslim, we have the Quran and we have the Sunnah, that is our spiritual and physical guidance. Then we have the understanding of the Quran and the Sunnah according to the Prophet ﷺ and his companions. So this is the overall, the foundation, the basics of the Muslim life, wherever he does, from business, marriage, worship. There's some things that are happening in this particular country that every Muslim should be aware of. And I'm only talking about it because it's going to affect many Muslims, whether you're noticing it or don't notice it. Whether you think it doesn't face you or is not a problem that you're dealing with, but it might be a problem that you have to deal with and look at it. The political situation, and you know already the topic is Donald Trump. And I don't like talking about politics, because sometimes politics cause people to fight and disagree. It causes arguments. Even politics even cause people problems in their marriages. But this is something that affects every Muslim, whether he's born in this country like myself, my mother, my father, my grandfather, my great-great-grandparents. They are American. But it affects me because I'm a Muslim. Whether a Muslim, he immigrated to this country, he migrated to this country, for whatever reason it may be, that it's going to affect you. I like to talk about Donald Trump ban. And some Muslims feel in the news that the court order that put aside Trump's ban, that this is a win. I like to let the people know it's more than that. And you need to understand it is more than Trump. This is a movement that's going on in America. First of all, I like to say that when they attack, whether you're an immigrant Muslim, whether you're from here, that we know that they're attacking Islam. And they're using Islam as a scapegoat to do whatever their agenda is. So when they say, for example, the ban on the Muslims from these 7 countries, in reality, from statistics, terrorist acts that happen in America, that none of them happened by refugees from none of these countries, number one. Number two, that the people who they are targeting, non-terrorist acts came from these peoples from these countries or who are refugees. And most of the terrorist acts that happen in this country happen by whites, supremacists, white nationalist supremacists. Most white people who've been killed, either been killed by white extremists or another white person, or police, meaning police brutality. All right? So most of the cases related to people on terrorist acts, the majority of people who are committing a crime are not Muslims. So Trump's ban on Muslim is more than just focusing on Muslims. And it's more than just a hatred against Islam. So people need to understand where it's coming from, because it's not going to stop with this court appeal. it's not going to stop. Whether we want to accept it or not, it's not going to stop. And many of us need to understand some basic things, what's going on politically in this country, which is a movement. Caucasian people, and as Muslims, we're not racist. I'm not a racist person. We don't hate anybody because of our skin color. Everybody here is from a different nationality and a different skin color. We're all here to please Allah. So this brother right here is from Bangladesh, he's my brother in Islam. This brother here is from Yemen, he's my brother in Islam. So everybody here, no matter what their nationality in Islam, this brings us together. We put away our differences, our skin color, and we understand that Shahada, Tawheed, is the main thing. But in reality, of the Western world do not think like this. Now, when they focus on Muslims and the immigrants, they're not focusing on immigrants who's coming from Europe, because a large portion of immigrants that come to this country are from Europe. And you have people who come from Muslims' country that are considered to be white. They're not focusing on these people. So Muslims need to understand what's really going on, what's really happening, so you can understand how to address and deal with these issues. Number one, Europeans, Westerners, whites, they don't produce like people of other countries produce. This is a reality. Statistics say for every household white, they have at least one child. And this is because of the feminist movements. When the woman wants to face or deal with her career, she put away or aside having a family. This is the results of that. So on one end, white people are not reproducing like they used to. That's number one thing. In Europe and here. They're not reproducing like people from Yemen reproduce, people from Bangladesh reproduce, people from India reproduce, people from Egypt produce, people from Africa reproduce. They're not reproducing children like this. So in America and in many Western countries, this movement is focusing on immigrants, not any immigrants. Immigrants who have skin color. This is part of the white nationalist ideas. Some Muslims don't want to talk about it, but it's a reality. White supremacist ideas, it is a reality. White nationalist movements, it's a reality. Most terrorist groups that have been very active in America are white, racist, white supremacist movements. Why? The Europeans are not reproducing as they used to. The immigrants, people of color, are reproducing at a higher rate. This is why when Trump got in office, I don't want to lose my point, that he focused on immigrants. And then his second movement was what? He wants to take tax money away from abortion. Like I said, white people are not reproducing like they used to. So white people feel in this country that the immigrants and the people of color are reproducing more than them, then one day they might take over this country. And this is what they feel in Europe. So the same thing is going on here. It is a movement that is going on in European countries related to the immigrants. Now, being realistic, if I'm black, if I'm Bengali, I'm brown, and I have an interracial marriage, interracial marriage, most likely the kid gonna come out dark. If you brown skin, you marry somebody who's whiter or lighter than you, most likely most of your children are gonna come out dark. So white people on another end, on their nationalist ideas and their racist ideas, they want to make this a white society. Now there's some movements before Trump was even running for office. There are some movements in America when white people, politicians, businessmen, people who are professional, they are starting this movement where they need to focus on immigrants. This didn't come from Trump himself. Trump didn't make this up. A part of American society, in its culture, in its law, we gotta look into Islam. Prophet ﷺ said, "Innama amal biniyat." I use this as my foundation. Many books of hadith, You're going to find in the books of hadith that the many imams of hadith, they begin with this hadith. All action is based upon your intentions. So when they made the Constitution of America, it didn't include people of color. They include white men. This is the reality. This is something that every Muslim, no matter where you come from, you come to this country, you have to have an understanding that the society was made for whites. So now, Trump, he made this thing, this ban on Muslims, 7 countries. But within this 7 ban on Muslim countries, no terrorist acts have happened. So the courts had said that Trump, this is being biased against Muslims. It doesn't mean that Trump won't win. And it don't mean that Trump could write another order. Doesn't mean that. Doesn't exclude this. So Muslims need to know there is a movement going on in America and many other Western countries where they're focusing on removing immigrants or reducing their population that are entering the country. This is why Obama focused on the 7 Muslim countries in South America. He said everybody who's from South America or a legal immigrant who committed a crime, he has to get sent back. So what do you mean by committing a crime? I got a ticket, I got arrested for something, I got an argument, I got an assault, or I got a misdemeanor. This is what he means. Anybody got anything. So it's very easy to get these type of charges in America because this is a place of business. And giving tickets and arresting people is part of business in America. So we can understand that they're focusing on non-whites. Non-whites. I don't want to make the talk long and lose the point. But we as Muslims need to be very conscious of what is going on and knowing where we live and the times that we live in. Because this movement that's pushing is not going to stop with Trump. It's not going to stop. Because a lot of people are behind him. People that he put in his cabinet who are with him, a lot of them are racist. A lot of them have these immigrant ideas. Look at the guy who they elected for Attorney General. This guy is an open racist. What they want to do is, they want to bring America how it used to be. It never really changed, believe it or not, but they want to bring these things about. So every Muslim needs to know certain things. He needs to be aware. There's some Muslims who are not aware. I'll be very blunt. I speak to some Muslims and they're very surprised what the current government is doing. I'm not surprised. My ancestors are victims. I like to say my ancestors in this country, they didn't come here by choice. My parents, my ancestors didn't come here by choice. They was here as slaves in this country, who built this country. They didn't have a choice to come here. America talk about, what's going on and the Muslims are terrorists and all these things, but they're the ones who had done a lot of things to people. They enslaved black people. They invented the atomic bomb. They killed thousands of people in World War I. Hitler killed thousands of Jews. None of these people were Muslims. The people who dropped atomic bombs and the inventors of them were not Muslims. The people who invented the AKA, the tanks, all these special weapons were not invented by Muslims. So we need to look at where the terrorism lie. Where is the Muslim's position in this country? Where your position, where your mind should be at. Where the Muslim mind should be at. Some people, when things get tight like this, or what's going on, many people are confused. Many Muslims are confused. But in the truth be that you need to know your rights, number one. But number two, you really need to have strong community. We really need to have a strong community. When things get rough, as being Muslim, you need to have a strong community. Many people have strong community when it's too late. And when the problem goes away, the community goes back to doing what they was doing before. But as a community, we need to be tight, not when the problem comes only, but before the problem comes. Every Muslim should know his rights, but every Muslim needs to be understanding his religion. This is what I'm going back to. Every Muslim needs to be concentrated in understanding his religion. Because when hardship come, when fitna come, the people who are saved from the fitna are the people who are understanding the book of Allah and the sunnah of his Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We get this in the Quran. Allah tells the story of Musa. Allah tells the story of Nuh alayhi salam and his people. Allah tells the people of Lut. Allah tells the people of Musa and the people of other prophets and their followers. The people who were saved were the people who obeyed the messenger. In the time of Nuh alayhi salam, the people who were saved were the people upon the Ark of Noah, or Nuh alayhi salam. These were the people who were saved. In our times, the Sunnah, the Islam is like the Ark of Noah. Whoever is upon it is saved. Whoever, you know, and this topic is very important. Some might say it's not important, but wallahi, I read an article of a Muslim sister who was stopped, and she's American, born American. She was in the Olympics, the past Olympics games. She won the medal. And she said she traveled back, and they stopped her in the airport. So I read her article, and I wasn't touched. She said she was shocked. I don't know how she's being black and American Muslim. She's shocked what happened. But she said something after that shocked me. She said this is why the Muslims need to get together and the transgender community. This is what she said. The Muslims and the transgender community. So I said to myself, what type of Muslim is you? This thing, being gay and being homosexual, this Islam is outwardly against this.
Right.
So you have Muslims who are in these movements against Trump, but they, in the same time, they are agreement with the homosexuals. They're agreeing with the feminists. They're agreeing with those people who have a contradiction and dislike Islam in some form or fashion. Because when Trump got in office, the next thing you know, you had a woman march. And I said to myself, who's pushing these ideas? There's some other agenda there. But when I sister made that statement, I said to myself, you have many Muslims out there, they don't understand their religion. And when fitna comes and the trial comes, they are grasping to things that could lead them to the hellfire. She said, Muslims and the transgender, we need to get our stuff together. And I'm looking at this woman who's wearing hijab. I said, you don't understand what Islam is about. You don't understand this hijab which you're wearing. You don't understand the symbols of Islam. You don't understand the Quran. So it's times that when trials like this come, you can't hold on to these things. You got to hold on to your religion. Because worst case scenario, and I say this out of most respect, worst case scenario, if the Muslim had to leave, what you going to do? You're going to go back and you're going to develop the Muslim world. This is where the Muslim really heart should be. What America wants to do, when I said about this, the immigrants, because they want to make America white, more white. They don't want to lose their power. They don't want to lose their power. And they're going to do whatever they got to do to make sure they don't lose their power. And when you look in their history, they fought their own white brother in the South just to remain and keep their power. What do you think they would do with me and you? In reality. What happened if Trump goes to the Supreme Court and they agree with him? When Muslims are happy about the judgment, that means that you shouldn't be happy, because what they can do is change it up. They say, you know what? The judge can say, yeah, but these countries that are on the list, they never had no terrorist stuff. But Afghanis had the last terrorist acts. Let's put Afghan on the list. 18 of the hijackers were from Saudi Arabia. Let's put them on the list. And let's keep these other remaining countries on the list. Matter of fact, most people who are going to join ISIS are from Morocco and Jazair. Let's put them on the list. So it doesn't mean it's a win for the Muslim. Because it said that Trump lost this appeal because their argument was weak. They didn't come prepared. So what happened? The man go and prepare himself. And what happened? One of the judges turned around and said, yeah, we should do something. So let's fix it. Let's add certain things to it and other restrictions. And don't make it look like apparently we're attacking the Muslims. Because Trump is not a politician. The difference between the politician and the Trump, they have the same agenda. But the politician, you know how to lie and play games and do things where people can't see. He say one thing, but he's doing something else. He's like a magician. Lisani here is sihr. Trump, this Lisani is not like sihr. He's saying openly what to do. But the politician, you know how to word things, sound right to me. Me and you might agree. The politician might say, we're going to kill you in a nice way. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. In reality, he wants to kill you. So the Muslim needs to go back to Quran and Sunnah. Quran and Sunnah. And I see this with the most respect. I say this like I'm speaking my last breath. We have to understand Quran and Sunnah. Only way you're going to understand Quran and Sunnah is by coming to the masjid and learning. Making the masjid the place of foundation of learning and community. This masjid right here in Far Rockaway, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed you. You have a building. You have an imam. You have a board. Now we need the peoples. Now we need the peoples. Because when the worst scenario happens, you know, the Muslim children they're gonna get it the most. I don't know how many brothers here got children. Some sister came here from Bangladesh, but this girl's like 13 years old. She told me in the masjid last week she was crying with her father. I said, why are you crying? She said, they make fun of me in school because I'm Muslim. They make fun of me because I'm the only one who wear hijab. They call me a terrorist. They call me ISIS.
Same thing my daughter.
This is what the Muslim children are telling me. And I say, where are the other Muslims in your classroom and in your school? I'm the only Muslim. So her only place where she could feel free and secure and feel safe is the masjid. She didn't share this with her father at home. She shared it in the masjid. She said she had a lot of pressure. I'm thinking I'm talking to somebody 21, 25 years old, pressure from their job or pressure from college, from exam. No, this girl is in grade school. She's feeling pressure from being Muslim. So we have to make the masjid a place where the Muslim women and the Muslim children feel safe and they can learn their religion. And I told her, I said, you know what? I didn't grow up Muslim. But when I was a kid in school, I went through the same thing you went through. She said, how? I said, I wasn't Muslim, but I went to all white schools. They used to make fun of me because I was black. I had to learn how to defend myself with this and with this. I said, I learned how to defend myself with this and with this. I said, the same people making fun of you because you're Muslim? I said, tell me some of their names. She said, one of them, they had a Muslim name. She said, his guy, he's African American. I said, you should have asked him, make fun of you because you're Muslim? Ask him how his ancestors get into this country. The people who make fun of Muslim in the news, they brought his people as slaves in this country. And when they accepted Christianity, they didn't treat them like their brother and sister in faith. They increased them in their punishment. They outlawed for them to learn and to read. They used the Christianity to oppress them. So I said that you need to learn how to fight people with this, your brains. So we need to have a place where it's safe for the Muslim. Now, sometimes when people come to the masjid, and this is reality, we have a multicultural masjid, meaning we have people from different race. People who are going to be accustomed to practicing Islam are a certain way they practice it in their country. In Pakistan, they might do something this way in the masjid. In Bangladesh, they might do a little bit different. In Yemen, they might do a different way. In Egypt, they might do this. People might be accustomed to certain things. So what's the solution? We come to the masjid here. Very simple. Quran and Sunnah. Quran and Sunnah. That's it. From the book of Allah, from the Sunnah of the Messenger. This is what we practice in Islam. So I take my culture aside. When I come here, my personal culture, I like to eat this, I like to dress a certain way. I come to the masjid, I put all that aside to be with my brothers and sisters in faith. Everyone here, I see them, my brother and sister. So the masjid, we have some programs. And the programs that we have designed, more programs, is programs to make this community feel safe. The Muslims feel safe. the children feel safe. Well, Lord, when I heard this girl crying, I felt hurt. I felt like I was in school being ridiculed and made fun of. And I was upset and hurt the most because I couldn't be in school with her to defend her. So when she come to this masjid, I told her, get with the Muslim kids in the head. Someone with you going on to school, I tell you how to defend yourself. I tell you exactly what to say to these people. I teach you about your religion. I teach you about your Islam. And she feels good when she comes here. I seen her last week. She was happy to be here. So we need to make this masjid feel good for children. Now back to our programs. We have the week in school. And the week in school right now, the registration stuff is done. So what I decided to do is, for those children who was not able to make the registration, the teenager boys, to have a youth program every other Friday. And then we decided to have a qiyam, spend a night, where they come and they can fellowship, learning religion, and it's going to be on the 24th, inshallah. And they're going to come, and there's nothing about no registration, just to bring the children. And then we're going to have a day for a family day, inshallah. And then we're going to have another day, inshallah, just for sisters. Because our women, you know, when we at work, the children are going to go to the mothers. And this is the truth. So the women have to understand her faith, understand her religion. So we're looking to have some programs for the women. To bring maybe another sister here, and maybe have the brother teach Quran and he's able to, so the sisters can learn. But our women have to start learning. So we're going to have these things from the masjid, inshallah. But I want to end on this note. I just want to end on this particular note. That, you know, do not allow what's happening in the politics today to define who you are. Do not allow it to stress you out. Because, you know, I learned something when I became Muslim many years ago. When I was incarcerated, it was the imam there. He said a Muslim could practice Islam in a matchbook. He said if you put a Muslim in the matchbook or put him in a box right there, that box right there, he can still practice his deen. And wherever the Muslim where he might be, wherever he might go, whatever situation he might be in, he can still practice his Islam. Our deen is very easy. Our deen is not complicated. Our deen is not made up. And as being a Muslim, you're going to have enemies. Allah said this in Quran. And if you believe in Allah, He's going to test you. And many times He tests us with our family, with the non-Muslim. But we really need to tighten down, tighten the waist belts, and come more into the community, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.